also taking a look at BYND. BYND, this is Beyond Meat, and we've been pushing beyond limit, right? So I talked about it when we were around this area that I'm looking for W shape out. So with W shape out, we test that W shape, and then boom to the 200, and then boom to the upside. We couldn't. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, guys. Well, this is your boy Francis. Welcome to the Trading Success Show. If this is your first time, you're welcome to this channel. And as well, we've had a beautiful week so far, and we actually came strong and then sold off in the market. I will show you this in a little bit, but you know, this is not a recommendation to buy or to sell any stock or equity. This is for entertainment purposes only, guys. We're gonna be talking about chart. The reason why I normally talk about this chart every weekend, is because you want to see your levels. Okay, when you want to sell stock, you want to know where to sell your stock, where to buy your stock, and what kind of trend we're going to be looking at, right? So I'll be laying out trends here, where to look at, and the possibility of the market going in one direction or the other, right? So we're going to talk about that, and also I'm going to be picking up my my stock off of Russell 2000, and as well as picking up some of them here on Thinkorswim. Okay, and this is pretty much prices above the 200 moving average, so I'm going to be picking up some based on average volume. Looking at that is a huge amount of volume right there. So let's dive deep into the market now. Alright, looking at the market performance, you see that pretty much the energy sector, industrials, some part of telecommunications are down, which include our semiconductors, right? So these are down. So we took a really good deep dive down in the market based on one-day performance, but the week performance is pretty smooth. Okay, so let's take a look at our group so far. One day relative performance is weak, with energy being the most in terms of negative 2.57%, and overall week we've been really doing good in the communication side as well as basic material, right? If you're looking at 1 month, so from gauging this, you see that energy has been really doing poor, right? Now this one-day performance is an indication that the energy is really doing poorly right here, right? And healthcare actually came up one-day performance if you're looking at that sector, right? So now let's get into the economic calendar. Let's take a look at what's coming up in the coming week. This week's major news, we have on Tuesday, U.S. retail sales. We're going to get the numbers coming up, as well as capacity utilization. Also, we're going to be talking about, a home builder confidence index, as well as on Thursday, we're going to be having our initial jobless claim. Okay, so that will also entails existing homes and the U.S. leading economic indicators. So pretty much we're packed on Thursday, and then the following week we're going to be talking more about Fed power and FOMC decision for the coming months. So keep an eye out, and we should be good in that front. So like I said, we're going to be taking some off of the Russell 2000. Now let's start up with the QQQ, right? QQQ is also, we're actually looking at our 370 as a support. Right now we're looking at price pulling lower from this 380 solid tap resistance zone. So I'll be looking at price pulling back into this level of support. So keep an eye out on that 372, 371 area on QQQ. Also have SPY, which is our Spider S&P 500 ETF. So right now we got this trend that we are watching actually, and if you look at the 20 exponential moving average, we've actually bounced off this region, you know, a couple of times, right? So right now we're looking at retesting this trend. If it doesn't hold, I'll be expecting price to pull back below 445. 445 is the support, immediate support, the short-term support for now. So keep an eye out in case the market decide to push lower. Looking at it on Thinkorswim SPY, now we know that the price is really extended, and then we've been looking at price pulling back to 444 445 area as support. So keep an eye out on that name or the market itself. IWM as well. This is our Russell 2000. See how, yeah, I talked about it last week that we're ready to really break out, and we broke out of this area, tapped the 193 194 area, only to pull back as the market pulled back as well. So looking at 190 as support. If it doesn't, then expect a retest of this breakout downtrend. So that would be really good. Also, another name as well is Blooming Brands, BLMN. BLMN, I think this is also another good one to actually keep right beside your portfolio. Reason is because we've just been pushing to the upside, right tap into the 28 area, rejected it because of the previous resistance here. So this is going to be the breakout zone, $28. That's going to be the breakout zone with potential back pull right into 26.50 or $26. So keep an eye out on Blooming Brand. I think we're ready to retap or retest the 52 weeks eyes on that name. Also, AHCO, this is Adapt Health Corp. Right now we actually pulled lower due to news and information from this company, and all of a sudden, guess what, we started bouncing and retracing back to the $14 area. So I think if price can break $14, I think we'll cover most of the pull lower back down to that below $10 spot, right? So look for $14 break. If we break $14, I think there will be room to $16.76, $17. So keep an eye out, and then we can start working on this gap fill. I think for long term that should be all right. Remember, this is not a recommendation, right? SAVA, this is Cassava Sciences. We're looking at support right around here. I talked about it a couple of weeks ago and said, you know, there's a potential for these to really break level, right? So right now we extended, got into this resistance, and all of a sudden we never look back, right? So also looking at this spot, this $21, this is going to act as our support with room to $23. So keep an eye out. I think we can bounce off of this area if momentum and solid volume comes into this company or this name. IVR, this is also another small name. I will be inching higher as well. So keep an eye out on this spot. Our support is going to be the 220 exponential moving average. So hold on to that one. Our small one is Wish, WISH as well. We're looking at price coming off of this bottom after this long consolidation. What are we talking about? We're talking about price been bouncing right around this area, and now we're able to break through the 50 exponential moving average finally, only to gain resistance right here, and then boom, as the market pull lower. So if for any reason the market decide to go lower, then we'll be looking at price holding this $8 as a form of support. So keep an eye out on WISH. Also taking a look at BYND. BYND, this is Beyond Meat, and we've been pushing beyond limit, right? So I talked about it when we were around this area that I'm looking for W shape out. So with W shape out, retest that W shape, and then boom to the 200, and then boom to the upside. We couldn't get this 20, but that is fine, because guess what, that is where we have our resistance right around this 19. So price pull lower back into 17. That is gonna be the next support on BYND. So keep an eye out on BYND. AVPT as well. Right now we're looking at trend break and retest. So if for any reason this small name decide to pull lower, we'll be looking at $5.75 as a support, or $5.50 as a support. So keep an eye out, see if we can continue to push to the upside on a point, right? Also talking about Visa as well. Visa right now, we've just been pushing to the upside, looking for this trend support for now on that name. Also taking a look at BKR as well. This is still within the flag zone with potential for continuation to the upside, but for now keep an eye out on the $34 as a form of support. Also I did pick some up on Verizon as well. The reason is because this should be ready for what I call a breakout. We've been really working the 200 moving average for quite a while now, and also pulling lower back into support zone. So $34, that is going to be a very good solid support area. So keep an eye out on Verizon. Goldman Sachs as well. This name, I'm looking at price really holding the 20 and 50 exponential moving average right here, with constant rejection right close to the 200 moving average. I think we'll continue to inch higher on this name, followed by that JP Morgan. So we have the banking earnings report as well, and earnings seasons will be kicking off solidly. I also sold some of my position on AAPL, American Airlines, because we tapped that $19. We got that stretch right here, right? So I sold some in anticipation of, you know, price rejecting $19 soon. Right now we're looking at 20 exponential moving average for the price to hit. So KO, this is Coca-Cola as well. We're looking at $61 break. So that is gonna be our spot right now. We're holding the 200 moving average, guys. You know what it is, so keep an eye out on that as well. FedEx as well, looking solid right here. If we can hold this trend, then we'll continue to push to the upside. I don't know what to say about Meta, guys. Meta has been really, you know, trending it to the upside. Right now we're rejecting that top trend, that resistance. So I'll be looking for a price back into this lower trend, and then, you know, we can see if price can really hold. Other than that, I'm looking for a bottom bounce play right off of SILK. Right now this actually tapped the 21 area, so I'll be looking for price bounce off of this spot if that's possible, but I believe that is possible pending on action to fill up this gap. I think this also, you know, could be a solid bottom bounce play. TTD as well, this is trade desk. Right now we broke out of zone into the that $90 zone, so see how we've been hitting a sell pressure right here. So I'll be looking for some momentum to the downside, at least back into $82.50 or even $80, because we want to retest that zone for a momentum push to the upside. This also TER as well is Cathy Wood's trade, and right now see how price is breaking through resistance. So if we can retest 112 and hold that level, we should be good to continue to push to the upside. IBM as well freshly broke the 200 moving average to the upside, retested, they try again, failed the resistance on this side, and right now we're looking at holding the 20 exponential moving average. So keep an eye out on that as well. AI, this is AI C3. I sold some right close to the 50, only to pull back down, added to my portfolio and sold the remaining around $41. Right now I'll be looking at price holding this trend. If it doesn't, then we'll be looking for price back into $30 on that name. Also Palantir as well, this has been really solid, and I think there's more growth onto this name. $17 break, and then we'll continue to push higher as we did here on AI as well, so keep an eye out on that. Neo actually is in a very solid spot to break out of this area, break out of this zone, but then we need to retest the 200 moving average for a momentum push to the upside. Coin as well, COIN, this is also due to issue with SROP, so they are not an equity anymore. So we can classify it as a crypto play. So we'll be looking at price pulling lower off of this extension. We're extended on this name, and guess what? I'll be looking for price. I'll be looking for put options in the name as well on coins. So we're going to be looking at put options at some point, and I'll be looking for a long dated put option. So if we can get the 95, that would be good, or the 100 put option, and then hold this for a while, see what that actually does. Guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, concern, you can email me at tradingsuccessshow@gmail.com. The remaining chat, I'm going to post them up on my Twitter and on my stock tweet, which includes Sophie, T, Arrow, Rot, Duolingo, and all those good stuff. Thank you for your time, guys. Peace.